When I made the video for Makey, every second of it was cut in a way that was trying to convey a message, and it wasn't a message about what to do with Makey. It was a message about yourself and how you relate to the world and how you can make changes to the world. And in the context of Makey, you can look at the world in a different way. So when there's when there's a part of the video that you bring up Google and you type something into it and you're searching for something, that's kept in there because it's this idea that you're like searching around on the internet, grabbing stuff just like you would out of a dumpster in the physical world, repurposing the meaning of it on the fly, and connecting it to physical world objects as well. So all that stuff is shown, built up. We don't start with talking heads saying who we are, because who cares who we are? We start with, look at this thing that you can do. If you're interested in more, you can find out more about who we are later. Always start from what you can do. Hackers, inquirers, like seekers, and like real education starts not with how something works, even though how something works is interesting. It starts with, what can I do? What happens if I do this? What is it that's going on here? What can I see? What can I do? What can I try? Those are the questions that matter. Mm-hmm. And then out of that later comes, well, how might this work? Then you create a model for how it works. Mm-hmm. Then you learn the basics behind how something works that you can apply to something else and leverage and scaffold. Mm-hmm. But that's not what matters in the beginning. In the first moment, of, like meeting someone new, you don't talk about like the big things. You say, hey, what's up? So when you're learning something, you run into a new object, new technology, a new part of the world. You say, hey, what's up? Well, how do you say, hey, what's up with an object? You poke it, you pick it up, you throw it around, you combine it with things that you already know about. Yeah. That's what you do when you meet someone new. When you meet a new part of the world and you want to learn about it, you don't start with, hey, what religion are you?
Yeah.
It's the wrong place to start.
And then later on, those facts can be important. Like, how old are you?
They can be all important.
Yeah. But if we start off with that, there's no perplexity, or there aren't as many questions.
It's just not how the human mind works.
Yeah.
If the human mind was built to think first about the big questions, then that's fine. You could start with that. So it's not really like, there's really no argument to be had about where should we start. We should start wherever the human mind works and resonates.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere. Everything's going to be faked. You want genuine interest from the beginning. So you start with things that humans genuinely are interested in, well, whatever those things are.
It's so interesting, too, because when I watched your video, I love the way that the kind of talking heads part, the content, if you will, comes in the middle or towards the end. And I think as teachers, we have this tendency to want to scaffold our kids from simple to complex, rather than letting them struggle first by saying, like you said, hey, what's up? Like, what's happening here? What questions can we ask? And then use that as kind of a window for that more rudimentary content.
It's natural for people who have already learned something to want to show what they've learned to other people.
Yeah.
So it's a natural mistake to make, but people need to go through their own process.
Yeah. I think that really puts it well. I think as teachers, we have a tendency to say, okay, we have this content, we want to transfer it to these people. And we're very proud of having this content, and we sometimes forget how they are going to best take that in.
It would be great to transfer content to people if it worked.
Yeah.
So I just found in my experiences that way doesn't work. And I thought I wasn't even going to put talking heads in my Kickstarter video at all, or my product video at all. And people just kept telling me I had to put them, and I had to put them first. So I kind of caved and said, you know what, some people are looking for this, I'll put it last, and if people want to see it, they can. But what I'm going to start with in the first 5 seconds is, here's what you can do.
Yeah.
And that's where I start.
To be honest with you, when I was watching it, I was expecting the video just to end, and I would have been totally satisfied.
I would have been happy with that.
Yeah. But when you continued on, it felt very appropriate, though. It was almost like I was primed and ready for that. It gave me, it closed the door a little bit more for me. And I immediately was like, oh my gosh, this is like a classroom. This is why back-ending lecture can be a really powerful thing.
When you respect your audience or your learner, or in the case of one-on-one conversation, your dialogue partner, in the case of a marriage, your spouse, when you respect someone completely, you don't waste any time telling them about things that that aren't relevant. In the case of a YouTube video about a product or something like that, you don't waste any time. In fact, you don't even tell them about the product at first. You just show them what they can do with it. And you try to catalyze and see the idea, oh my God, I can change the world. Oh my God, I have more ideas. That's what you're trying to get someone to think in That's what I'm trying to get
It was,
someone to
and it
think
was
and
great the way
figure
you dropped in just a little text in the corner, so we knew what we were looking at. It was very clear. You were searching, like you said, dumpster diving, if you will, grabbed it, and then manipulated the world. It was awesome.
With the text too, I was trying to just crystallize the thought, because sometimes when someone sees something, they're like, wow, that's really neat. I don't know how to store that, so you just give it a little name, helps people file it. Banana piano or human synthesizer, something like that. That also helps people talk about it with other people. It's a vocabulary, but in context.
It's amazing. Well, thank you very much.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah.
I really care about the videos.